Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for the presentation on pricing for your business parts 1 and 2. Just a little bit of housekeeping. We will be recording, so if you do not wish to be part of the recording, please feel free to turn off your cameras. We do ask that during the presentation, you do keep yourself on mute, but during the question periods, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and ask your questions. Otherwise, if you do not feel comfortable doing so, please feel free to put it in the chat and I will relay it to Francois. We have coming up on November 23rd this year, our Paro Summit Gala 2023, where we will be celebrating women across Ontario for their amazing accomplishments and things that we think they deserve to be recognized for. If you wish to nominate somebody, which the nominations do close on September 6th, or if you wish to join us, because this is a hybrid event, so you can join us either virtually or in person, you can do so by going to www.paro.ca. That's PARO.ca. I will also put the links in the chat there. And early bird pricing does close on September 15th. So if you want to get that discount, you better do it quick. Otherwise, Francois, I'm going to hand it over to you. Take it away.
Hello, thank you. My name is Françoise. I am a business growth advisor for Paro, but I am also a business woman. I have a small company on the side, and pricing, it's a big issue. I went through this, I'm very happy to do the presentation on this topic for you because I love numbers and I think it's a very important topic. Paro is a non-profit organization who help women to grow in their entrepreneurial journey. We have several programs, and I really invite you to look at our website and maybe connect with some of our business growth advisor or with me to know exactly how we can help you from ideation to multi-million profit business and to be ready to export. I'm going to share the screen with you, and we're going to start with part 1, which is pricing. Okay. Okay, why couldn't I do? Okay, that's it. If you have any question, do not hesitate to stop me during the presentation. I will try to answer right away. Okay. When you think about pricing, there is a number of factors that you need to take into account. You need to calculate your expenses. There is two kinds. There is a fixed expense, which is a cost that does not change or only change slightly from time to time. In a small business, a fixed expense is one that does not change according to the amount of production or volume of sale. I'm going to give you some examples. Is in internet service, the rents, the insurance, your phone. That's some of the examples, okay? A variable expense is a cost that changes according to the amount of production, level of sale, or even weather condition. For example, product supply, ingredient, equipment, office supplies, advertising, heating. Gasoline for your car is another one, for example. The pricing, quality, service, and profitability are tied together in a complex manner in your pricing strategy. The price reflects an intangible image factor where price equals product plus service plus image plus expenses plus profit. Each one affects and reflects the intangible image or the perception of the product service. Pricing is, I just want to give you an example to the previous one, if I can go back. I'm going to give it. Pricing is strategic within the current economic situation, within the market, with the competition, and with the geographic location. The current economic situation is quite significant right now because people has less money and you need to bring product that they are willing to buy. It doesn't mean that the product need to be cheap, but you need to create an emotion and a willing to buy. Like you need to have some product that going to make them to want to treat them with something unique. And it's the direction I'm going because I see the impact of the economic situation on my sale right now, and I need to make a shift. Donc the current economic situation is very important. The market, yes, the competition, yes, but this is a factor that you need to take into account right now. Look, you need to ask yourself this question. Are you trying to buy market share with low price? Are you trying to maximize profit? Or are you trying to be competitive? In my case, my product, I do jam, jelly with local craft beer. I have some competitor, donc I would like to try to buy market share from them. I want also to maximize my profit. I don't necessarily try to be competitive because my products are boutique style. They are more expensive for different reasons. Look, you need to ask this question and really weigh the pro and the con and in which direction you would like to do, or you would like to go. Donc we're going now to look at how to establish price ranges. You need to adjust to the market, but only when you have considered the material cost, the overhead cost, the labor cost, and the image. You really need to know your market, know what is going on locally, globally, what is happening with your target market. Keep informed on anything that could affect your business, particular industry, and your own business. Will this affect your pricing? Yes or no, and how? Look, me, I know exactly what my two main competitors in Ontario are doing. I'm following new local artisans who start to sell jam or jelly. I'm also looking what's going on globally, and I follow one style boutique jam and jelly, which is located in France. The name is Confiture Parisienne. I really like what they are doing. They are unique and outside the box, and that's the direction I want to go. It's very important. The least desirable pricing method may be the suggested or the going rate because it's in your cost structure and economic factor. I'm going to take an example. My competitor jam and jelly, the price is $8. I can go with this, but there is so many difference between their product and my product. Their product, the first ingredient is sugar. My product, the first ingredient is craft beer or fruit. It means my cost is higher. Look, I could not start with a price of $8. I need to be higher. That's something very important to take into consideration. Donc, adjust your price to the market, but the best method take into consideration, all operating costs, market, and economic factor. You can ask this question to yourself. What businesses do you know that can charge a higher price because they portray a high-end image? What business displays the cheapest price? What situation may be present for this approach to be profitable? Donc in my case, as I said, I follow a company in France. The name is Confiture Parisienne. Their price is significantly higher, but it's a boutique style product and they offer unique combination of flavor. Like they have an amazing poppy seed, strawberry jam, to give you an example. That's the direction I want to go. I don't want to have cheapest price. I want to have unique product. It's a very important question to ask to yourself to establish where you want to be and where you want to go. Donc now we're going to play with some numbers, and I hope you will stay with me. We're going to first see how we need to price our product. We're going to take the example of Dini Design, who do baby snuggle wrap. Donc, we're going to consider a few things. The cost for material per product, which is $10.75. The yearly overhead cost. Donc, this is the expense that we need to do, and it's not depending of how much product we are selling. It's $7,253. We need to take into account the labor to produce a snuggle wrap, which is 30 minutes multiplied by $11 an hour. The overhead cost is 7,253 divided by the number of total working hours, which is 1,317. Donc it's based on a 40-hour week, which includes estimates for holiday, personal, and sick time, which is equal to 5.55 per hour, multiplied by the number of hours it takes to make one product, 0.5 hours. It's going to be 275 per product. The labor, as I said previously, it's 11 hours, $11 multiplied by 0.5, which makes 5.55. The material, 10.75 per product. So the total cost per product is 1903. Now you need to add the profit markup of 30%. Donc multiply 1903 by 1.3. It's going to give you 24.74. That's a wholesale price for snuggle wrap. It's 25. Donc you need also to take into account some of the distributor can ask you an extra money, maybe 15, 17%. Donc it means that maybe your wholesale price going to be higher. But some of the retail, they take between 30, 35 to 50%. Okay, but 30 is a good starting point, because with 30%, you can still offer, if you want, free shipping. Donc, the retail price will be determined by outlet. Or if you do event, you're going to determine your retail price too. Donc, to give you an example, if you sell in January 20 product, you're going to make $500, okay? In March, if somebody order you 40 product, you're going to make $1,000, just to give you a few ideas. Donc, the pricing techniques. The importance of pricing cannot be underestimated, as incorrect pricing can often result in business failure. Donc, if I take example of my company, when I starting my company 7 years ago, and I stopped for a few years, okay, for personal reason, I think I was at $7 or $8 per jar. Now I am at $9.50. And with this price of $9, $9.50, it's a little low based on the economic crisis we are facing. I'm able to break through quite easily. Donc, you really need, and don't be afraid. People, they're going to buy your product if your product are good. I am at $9.50 and people give me sometimes $10, okay? Because they don't want the 50 cents. Okay, don't be afraid to price accurately your product. People are there. Some people will buy. There's no problem. New businesses often make the mistake of either charging too little or too much for their product. That's something you need to take into consideration. I was afraid at the beginning to charge too much. Now I'm increasing my price. There is no problem. All aspects of pricing, what is acceptable to the market and what your costs are, must both be considered. You need to be in control. You need to know your numbers. That's very important. But also something, and we will discuss this later, you need also to know how you can decrease your cost. And more you're going to move in your business, more you're going to produce, more you're going to find a way to decrease your cost, donc to make more benefit, okay? Effective pricing depends on the business goal. Do you want to maximize profit or are you aiming for high growth in sales? That's a choice. Me, I want to maximize profits. I'm not necessarily go to high growth in sales. Donc, again, the business must make a choice of positioning itself as a good value, low-end market, or the quality-conscious upscale market. The target market, the customer, is a reference point on this. Again, I'm taking my business as an example. I do quality product, a boutique style product. Donc, I am a quality conscious. My target market is people with a certain revenue. But I'm amazed sometimes because people with low or middle income are buying my product because they want to treat themselves. They want to have something unique that they're going to bring some flavor to their Sunday meal or their barbecue. Donc, you need to be open to this too. Now we're going to go and look at the fee for service, which is a little different. You're going to take into account the labor, the overhead again, and the profit. The fee may be set by the hour, by day, by month, or by the project. Consider all fee structure that work best for your business. Donc, you can negotiate price depending on your client's specific need and then develop a personal package for each client. Labor plus overhead plus profit. Donc, you're going to structure your fee based on recent work performed and paid by your salary. Donc, start with your most recent salary if work experience is equivalent to the service provided. Take the annual current salaries for this type of service. Donc, we give you a link with working in Canada. Like this, you can get some example, and we take your hourly salary for a bookkeeper, which range between 11 to 18 to almost $30 an hour. Okay. You need also to do some research fee charged by comparable businesses, okay? You don't want to be under, you don't want to be over, you just want to be to the same range. Okay, let's take an example. If we take the bookkeeper as an example and take the middle of the salary range, which is $18 multiplied by 8 hours, multiplied by 261 days for a year, which make an annual salary of $37,584. You're going to divide by 261, which is going to give you $144 a day, or $18 multiplied by 8 gives the same number, okay? Now the overhead, same than previously, that's a fixed expense. Whether sale are where you are doing a sale or not. So rent, insurance, license, telephone, internet, any program you are using and you need to pay monthly basis. Variable expense, they change depending on workload. It's additional wage for staff, supply, etc. Direct expense, behalf of a specific client, extra printing, travel and accommodation, long distance, over contractor time. That's also something very important. For example, I do a favor for wedding. I can use my beer jelly with my labels for favor, but also I can have specific demand. And we need to develop specific label for this. So that's a direct expense, and it's going to be specific for each client. Now we're going to calculate the profit. Donc, the profit is going to range for 10 to 30% of the average salary with benefit plus overhead cost. To determine a fair profit, consider the demand for your service, the extent of your expertise, and the competition again. Now, let's take an example. Donc, to calculate overhead is a monthly overhead multiplied by 12, which is going to give you the yearly overhead. We're going to divide this by 168 daily overhead, average billable day per year. For example, in the month, if the month overhead is 1,190 multiplied by 12, it's going to give you 14,280. Divide by 168 is going to give you, no, divide by 261 is going to give you 55 daily overhead, okay? Because there is 261 days in a year. Next step, labor plus overhead plus profit. Your daily labor rate is 144. Your daily overhead, your fixed expense, is 55, which give $199. And you're going to add this, the profit as a percentage. So you need to fee round up. And we're going to see later in the presentation. Then add other costs that are particular to that client. That's an example, okay? Donc, daily labor rate, 144, daily overhead rate, 55, almost 200, profit, 15%, donc 29.85, total daily fee rate, 228.85. You run to the next highest, $25, which is $250. You also need to remember that you need to add to this the tax if they are applicable, okay? Same thing for the product. Now to calculate your hourly rate, divide the daily fee rate by 8. Run to the next highest, 10 or 25. For example, 250 divided by 8 hours, it makes $34 an hour. So you increase to the next level, 40 or 50, depending on market, competition, expertise, economy, and other pertinent factors. It is an example where we're going to calculate a proposed cost for a client. Donc, direct labor, 20 days at $275. Okay. We're going to assistant, 2 days at $100. Donc, total direct labor is going to be 5,700. Now, you're going to add the direct expenses, which is specific to this specific project. Donc, you're going to travel, donc 275 kilometers multiplied by 55 cents is going to do $157. Long distance, you had $100. Donc, total direct cost, $256.75. Donc, the price for the project for the customer is going to be $5,956.75. Donc, you're going to maybe add over direct expenses, but rent a car, airfare, special supply. You must provide the direct labor expense and state in the contract that all direct expense such as blah, blah, blah will be covered by the client. I do a workshop last week. I charge for my direct labor and direct expense, but the cost of the ingredient to do the product were not included in the expense. It was at the charge of the client to bring the product or to pay for the product. Okay. Do you have any question? If not, we're going to go to the part 2, where we're going to focus on calculating your break-even point. Okay, donc I'm going to share with you the second part. And we're going to go through this one. Okay. Okay. Okay, it looks like I have some technical problem. Okay. Going to redo it.
Is it not letting you change slides?
Yeah, no, it's black. Let me to try again. Okay. Going to see I can go.
I think it's because you're starting it from the last slide.
Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, let me too. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go back to the first one. Give me 1 second. Okay, that's it. Thank you, thank you. Voilà. Okay. Why is doing this? Okay.
Is it just rushing through it or?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. Donc, what we saw in the previous presentation, that pricing is strategic. You need to take into account the current economic situation, the market, the competition, the geographic location. Something very important, you need to remember that 85% of purchasing decisions in Canada are made by women. 15% are influenced by women, which is amazing. And I saw this with my product. I was thinking, okay, I'm working with craft beer. I'm going to approach a man. But when I do market, it's a woman who decides. If they don't want to taste my product, the man doesn't taste the product. Donc, you need also to think about it. Donc, I'm moving in a due direction with my product. I'm going to do limited edition of a set of 4 little beer jelly, but I bring girly flavor or girly, yes, flavor. Donc, I have passion fruit sour, I have blood orange vanilla. I bring something that can appeal to women, and they're going to buy, and they're going to share with their man or with their family. So it's something very important to take into account, just to give you one example. When you establish your price range, you need to adjust to the market, but only when you have considered the material cost, the overhead cost, the labor cost, and the image. Know your market is very important. Know what is going on locally, globally, what's happening with your target market. Keep informed on anything that could affect your business, particular industry, and your business. For example, there is 2, and I don't want to say 3 over the last year, distributors that are changing their business or shut down or are closing for 6 months to see where they are. And that's going to affect my business in some way. And it affects also my pricing, but not only my pricing, it's the way I'm going to distribute my product, the way I'm going to bring my product to the client, Okay? It's very important. The least desirable pricing method may be the suggesting or the going rate because it ignores cost structure and economic factor. We talked about this and I gave you some example earlier in the previous presentation. The best method take into consideration all operating costs, market, and economic factor. I want to give you another example. We had with the economic crisis an increase between 10 to 30% of the cost of ingredient. Glass jar, my glass jar took 30% increase of the price. I was working with a company where they were cheaper to the other one. They took advantage of the economic crisis to bring their price to the level with the other company that they are selling the same jar. I took 30%. Okay, I find a way to decrease my cost for several ingredients. For example, before I was buying the beer by can, for the microbrewery that they are close to me, I bought big bucket that they are food friendly. And we fill the bucket with the beer. What I need, I keep them overnight in the fridge at the commercial kitchen. Okay, I reduce my cost there, which is going to compensate for the increase of 30% for my glass jar. I could not increase my price of my beer jelly by 20-30%. It's not possible. Look, you will need to play with your number and see how you can adjust and stay on the market and still be able to sell. That's very important. The pricing technique we went through in the previous presentation, you could not underestimate your cost because you can fail. The mistake that new business are doing is they charge too little or too much for their product. That could be an issue. You need to take into account all aspects of pricing, what is acceptable to the market and what your costs are. Effective pricing depends on the business goal. Do you want to maximize profits or are you aiming for high growth in sales? Donc, the profit range from 10 to 30% of the average salary with benefit plus overhead cost. Okay? To determine a fair profit, consider the demand for your service, the extent of your service, of your expertise, sorry, the extent of your expertise, and the competition, okay? In my case, I have competition. I have two major great products in Ontario. I need to make my product to stand by themselves and to be different, to be able to ask the price I want to ask. We're going to go through something is very important, is how you determine break-even point. Okay, I went through this. I know when I'm there. I got there over the last 3 years. My main issue is to grow now. Okay, but that's a very important point, and we're going to go through this. Look, what is a break-even point? Is a point at which cost or expenses and revenue are equal, which means, in other words, there is no less cost, no net loss, or no net gain as occurred. Okay. The cost expense equals the revenue in some way. And in this case, we say the business, the company has broken even. How do we calculate it? So the basic technique is the same for all businesses, that you sell a product or you sell a service. However, you must know your variable costs. These are costs that vary with how much you sell. For example, cost of goods sold, cost of ingredient, variable labor cost, and or sale commission, freight, packaging cost, advertising, utilities. Also, you must know projected sale and overhead fixed costs from your projected or profit and loss statement. Let's talk about projecting. You need to remember that some figures are estimates if you are projecting. Make sales estimate conservative, slightly overestimate cost. When projecting sales, consider how many product or client days with I reasonably sell this month, okay? And this is going to fluctuate over the year, okay? There is some months where you don't sell a lot. When Christmas has up, when holiday season is coming, you may sell more. Also, consider how many product or clients that are reasonable to make or sell, okay? Do not overestimate yourself. As I said, consider the seasonal, economic, and other pertinent matter to be more accurate, okay? When in business, compare the month last year and consider what is reasonably to happen this year. That's a very important point. More you are growing, more you're going to see where you can sell your product. And maybe, for example, August for me in the previous year was really a dead month in some way because I don't do a lot of farmer market. I changed my strategy and I chasing tourists and people who go on vacation. Donc, I'm moving in different places around Ontario and to sell my product. I also do bigger events, which make me to sell a lot of my product. Donc, you need to consider this new strategy to increase your sales. Donc, let's go to calculate your break-even point. Again, I just want to remind you that break-even point means that your business has not earned a profit or experienced a loss. Donc, sale equal break-even level of sale in dollar of product and service. Donc, you need to take into account your fixed cost in dollar, your variable cost in dollar, to determine whether your business is at a break-even point. The formula is sale equal fixed cost divided by contribution margin rate. And we're going to define this in the next slides. Now, let's go with the fixed cost. The cost that must be paid whether or not any unit are produced. These costs are fixed over a specific period of time or range of production. In our example, we took $25,000 as a fixed cost and is remain constant regardless of sale volume. Overhead costs, just to remind you, are the rent, monthly telephone, for example. Electricity can be one, depending if you use electricity for production. Also include hidden costs such as depreciation interest, which is very important. Donc, variable costs, we saw them earlier in the first presentation, are costs that are directly with the number of products produced. Donc, in our case, we're going to take example, we're going to take $45,000, which is directly associated with the sale of 30,000 units at $1.5. Cost of goods sold, variable labor cost, and or sale commission material, freight packaging cost, which are some examples that you need to take into account when you calculate your variable cost. $90,000 is the total projected or actual sale or revenue. In this case, is 30,000 units sold for $3 each. Okay? Donc, break-even calculation, we're going to take the fixed is $25. The variable, which is $45,000. The expected sale profit sales, sorry, is $90,000, and we going to multiply by the sale. The sale we need to do to break even, which is nothing to do with the sale that we expect to do, okay, which was $90,000. We go through the calculation. Sale equal 25,000 plus half of the sale. Sale minus half of the sale equal 25,000. Half of the sale equal 25,000, which is the number of sale we need to do to break even, to reach a break-even point is $50,000. Donc, over 50,000, we're going to show some profit. Donc, we expect to sell $90,000 over the year. Donc, it means we're going to break through if we reach this number, and we're going to start to make profit. Okay? It's exactly what this graphic explains you. You have in quantity sold, and on the y-axis, you have the number of dollars you are making. You have the break-even point below this number. You lost money. You don't make any profit. Over this number, you're going to start to do money. You have the fixed cost. You have the total variable cost, which is a TVC. And at one point, you're going to start to make profit when the total revenue going to be superior to the total cost. Okay. This is another example. The sales are 25,700. The fixed costs are 11,920. The variable cost is 8,865. We use the same formula. Donc, the sale we need to do, which is S, to break through, equal fixed cost plus, in bracket, variable cost divided by the number of sales we are making, multiplied by the number of sales we want to do to break through. Donc, in this case, the store rent is $700 per month. Donc, number 11,920. We're going to divide the variable cost by the sale we expect to do over the year, multiply by S, which is the sale we want to do to break through. Same formula, and we arrive to the number of 18,196.81, which is, this is the number of sales we need to do to break through and to start to make profit. Donc, in our example, we expect to sell for $25,700 over the year. Donc, we're going to break through. We're going to start to do to make some benefit, some profit. Okay. Now, okay. We're going to take two examples. One, when the rent is $1,000, donc there is an increase of $300, and a case where the rent is $1,400. Donc in this case, S going to be, donc the sale we need to do to break through is going to be $23,692.49, which is slightly below the $25,000 expected sale. Donc, we're going to be just starting to make some profit. We're going to break through, but just starting to make some profit over this first year. Now we have a rent of $1,400 per month. We won't be able to break through at this level. And that's a very interesting point, because with some friends, we wanted to create a co-op commercial kitchen in Toronto. And what stopped me and stopped us, it was the rent. It was so outrageously expensive that I said, no, we could not start a commercial kitchen in Toronto. We need to look outside Toronto to start something where the cost is lower, because this is going to block us in our growth, and it's going to make very difficult to break through. Look, you need to know when you are going to break through. Is it the year 1, the year 2, the year 3, the year 4, the 5? It can take some time, because in my case, I needed to stop my business for almost 5 years. I break through just over the last 2 years. So you need to take it also in consideration sometimes some of external parameters that you could not control. Okay? If you have any question, let me know. Thank you very much for being here.
All right. Thank you, Francois, so much for that wonderful presentation. Thank you again, everybody, so much for coming today for Pricing for Your Business Parts 1 and 2. If you would like a copy of today's recording, please send us an email at communications@pero.ca, and we will send you a link once it is made available. Otherwise, again, thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you again, Francois, for the lovely presentation. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.